got a lot of buys this week. I think there's like 5 or 6 teams on a bye as we bring in Jeff Pasquino from thefootballguys.com here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline as Week 9 kicks off tonight with a stinker. Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yes, you're right. 6 teams are on a bye this week, same as Week 11.
6 teams on a bye. 2 of them play tonight. It's virtually a bye. You playing anybody in the game tonight?
Well, if you're looking for tight ends, and that's always been a hard one this year, I think that both Kittle and Cook are options. But other than that, I'm not looking too much at this game. Maybe a defense.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you, you got Kittle tonight who's been very good with the quarterback play for San Francisco. Is he a guy that maybe you're worried about tonight?
I am, because I can't believe you were actually hoping for C.J. Beathard to start, but he's 50-50 to start tonight. Whoever starts, I don't even know the backup. I think he was an undrafted free agent, and no one's going to be rostering him. No one should roster him. But if he's a go, then the Oakland defense immediately becomes in play.
Is there anybody for Oakland that benefits from Cooper being gone?
From Cooper being gone, I think Jordy Nelson becomes the de facto wide receiver 1. Martavis Bryant is rumored to be the wide receiver 2, but he's just not consistent enough. I actually like Seth Roberts, who scored a touchdown the week after Cooper was traded. I think he's a more viable option, but the top receiver is really Jared Cook there.
Yeah, we'll get into quarterbacks, running backs, wideouts. I do want to get a couple of quick things here on some trades that happened this week. Who prospers because of Demaryius Thomas being out in Denver?
Well, I think that the guy that's going to be stepping up is Cortland Sutton. He's going to be your starter now, opposite of Emmanuel Sanders, who's soaking up a lot of targets. But Philip Lindsay gets a lot of targets out of the backfield, too. Those 2 guys are going to be your top 2 for Denver, but Cortland Sutton is the guy to pick up.
Do you like Golden Tate for the Eagles' offense?
I think so. I think with the problems they're having at running back, but I think there's a guy to pick up for the Eagles because it's on the bye. I would pick up Josh Adams because no one's going to pick him up this week on a bye. But I think that Aguilar is kind of pretty much on the downside, and I think that Tate's going to be working on the slot. Look for Carson Wentz to be working a lot of those short passes to complement a lackluster running game.
How about Wendell Smallwood as a second running back?
I think he's an option. I think he's more of a flex guy. I don't think he gets the ball too much towards he doesn't get it enough. And with him splitting time with Clement, and really Adams looked the best last game, I am actually leaning more towards Adams, then Clement, because he might get some goal line work, and then Smallwood.
480 catches for Tate over the last 5 seasons in Detroit. Who benefits from him in Detroit being gone?
Oh, in Detroit, it's definitely Kenny Galladay's season. I think Galladay is going to step up. They were running 3 wide with Galladay, Tate, and Marvin Jones, but now Marvin Jones and Galladay are going to soak up all the targets. Galladay's production had come down a little bit, but now it's going to jump up into wide receiver 2 status.
All right, let's get some quarterbacks this week from Jeff Pasquino from thefootballguys.com. If you have a fantasy football question, send us a text message, 609-403. 0973. Ryan Fitzpatrick is back. So should he be in your lineup?
Well, again, with the buys, I think the bar is a little bit lower, but Ryan Fitzpatrick loves to throw the ball. Tampa Bay does not have a very good running game, and they have a terrible defense. So you're looking for shootouts most every game. Tampa Bay is giving up a league-worst 33 points a game. So Fitzpatrick is definitely quarterback 1, and I like all the receivers there, too.
Where are you on Mitchell Trubisky? I know it's a limited week, so is he a guy you got to play this week?
I don't think you have to play him, but he's a borderline starter. He's definitely looking up, and I think that he's putting up a lot of points. He also runs the ball a lot, so he gives you that dimension. He can run the ball in for a touchdown or some first downs. He does that most every week. The only problem with playing Buffalo is Buffalo's terrible, and Buffalo may not score any points. So the Bears may just go into hand the ball off to Jordan Howard in the entire second half.
Matthew Stafford lost one of his favorite weapons, and he hasn't been nearly the fantasy guy. So what happens with him this week?
He's a borderline. Well, he's a QB2 this week. First off, you got a road trip to Minnesota. That's never good for a quarterback. Secondly, the Detroit is doing better with running the ball. Now they're trying to become a more balanced offense with Kerryon Johnson, the rookie there, and it's working out better. But the targets are lower now. The passing game is being asked to do less. You don't have a shootout every week for the Lions.
Matt Ryan against the Redskins. Ryan's been great this year. Will he be this week?
I think he's a solid top 10 option. He's a borderline quarterback one. I think Atlanta might actually go in there and steal that game. I don't believe in too much in Washington just yet. Atlanta's coming off of a bye, but the only downside there is Atlanta tends to do better at home, where they're 3-0 this year, and they do better on turf.
Let's go to the running backs. If you have questions for Jeff, 609-403-0973. Send us a text. How about Nick Chubb in Cleveland? He lost his coordinator. They lost the head coach. So what are you thinking about the Cleveland offense?
I think Cleveland's a mess. They just hired as a coach a former quarterback who wasn't very good as a running backs coach. So I don't know what they're doing in Cleveland. Nick Chubb is going to get some run the rest of the way, but I don't think it's going to be consistent enough to be higher than a running back two. Plus, the Cleveland offense is still suspect.
Chris Carson, how about Seattle?
Seattle's another team that's really started. When they started to get the running game going, they started to turn around their season. They've done much better. Carson had 100 yards last week, and they benched him in the fourth quarter because it was a blowout of the Lions. So I think Carson's a solid option going forward at most every week.
Who's running the ball with the Jets now in that situation? They got an interesting matchup this week against the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's screaming Isaiah Crowell. I think with Powell out now, Trenton Cannon is a sleeper to pick up. He's more of a running back flex type option. Might get 7 to 10 touches a week just to complement Crowell, but Crowell's the main guy.
What about the running back situation in Green Bay? Is it finally Aaron Jones that you're trusting?
It is Aaron Jones. It's going to be him all the time, and I think that they're back up there. They're really looking at Jamal Williams as more of a third down back, which doesn't really make much sense because he's more of a pounder between the tackles, doesn't catch much. But Aaron Jones is pretty much going to be a 2, maybe even a 3 down back.
What about the other side in Baltimore now?
Well, Baltimore's interesting. I mean, there's news out now that Alex Collins did not practice again today. That could just be coach speak, that they're just resting him because it is November already. Collins is your main guy. Ty Montgomery, he's still figuring out even what state he's in, but I think that Montgomery is a complementary piece. He was nearly cut by Green Bay for running the ball out of the end zone last week and costing Aaron Rodgers a shot at that game. But I think Montgomery's a complementary piece. He's maybe the third back. He's pushing the second back there, but Alex Collins is the main guy.
A couple wideouts for Jeff. Let's go with what about Amari Cooper? You putting him right in?
No, I'm a little worried about how that's going to work out. I like that they're coming off of a bye, and I think that they'll work him in as a nice complementary piece. But he's more of a wide receiver 3 for me. I just don't trust the passing game. Wide receiver 3 at best. I think Tennessee's going to go in there. I'm really surprised at the line on that game. I thought Tennessee would be much closer in Vegas's eyes than Dallas, with both teams coming off of a bye. But maybe it's a Dallas bias, but I think Tennessee goes to Dallas and wins. Big week,
Devontae Parker last week. Does he follow it up?
Miami's got a tough game this week. I think it's they're playing the Jets. It's always a tight game there. I think that he's going to see plenty of targets and has a possibility with the upside. But with Brock Osweiler at quarterback again, it's still kind of it's shaky. But again, 6 teams are on a bye. So if you're looking for guys that have the upside to put in your lineup, Parker's definitely in that mix.
All right, a couple more wide receivers here. Jeff Pasquino, footballguys.com. You just mentioned Demaryius Thomas. Do you think he makes an impact? Do you play him right away?
I think you do, because Houston, they don't have anybody else at the wide receiver 2 spot. Kiki Cutie is coming back off of injury. I think Houston's leaning towards a bye. Yeah, they're in a bye in Week 10. So they're probably going to try and rest him 1 week. So Demaryius Thomas is going to soak up targets because you have DeAndre Hopkins on the other side soaking up double coverage. So Thomas is going to see probably 8 to 10 targets. It was in single coverage this week.
All right, let's fit in a couple of questions real quick. Jeff Pasquino, footballguys.com. Wide receiver, Hogan or Sutton?
I think it's a close one. I think Sutton, just because he's going to be on the field as a wide receiver too. Hogan's more of a complementary piece now for the Patriots.
Nick Chubb or Aaron Jones at running back?
Aaron Jones, just purely on volume, and that game's supposed to be a shootout.
You got Burton against Kittle, who you talked about earlier.
It's a close one. If Kittle gets C.J. Beathard, oh boy, I would go with Kittle. But otherwise, a Trey Burton. But again, I think that Trey Burton's only diminished because Chicago could be taking an alter shoulder pads at halftime.
Well, Tom Savage is out, so it means Beathard is at least active tonight.
All right, that's a good thing, right?
Well, I'm just saying it adds to the story. I don't know if it's good or bad. It's neutral.
Shady, Galladay, or Deshaun Jackson. Need two.
One more time, I'm sorry.
Shady McCoy, Galladay, or Deshaun Jackson. Pick two.
I would leave Deshaun Jackson on that mix just because he's too volatile. He's always game for a big game, but if you need a huge upside, I would bench McCoy because he's not doing much. That might be the way I go. Let's go that way. Let's just bench McCoy.
All right, they're both on bye weeks, but moving forward, Sterling Shepard or Dante Moncrief? I'm asking you to scrape it here. But listen, this is the dire situation that me and other people might be in right now, needing a little bit of an extra edge.
I don't trust Moncrief on a week-to-week basis. I think Sterling Shepard sees the amount of targets that you need. I know it's more of an Eli coupling there, but Sterling Shepard is more reliable in my eyes.
All right, Jeff, some sleepers, waiver wire, starts, guys you like this week.
Running back, I think we mentioned Ty Montgomery. Only if Alex Collins is out. Aaron Jones is a must start. I think Capri Bibbs could be a pickup if Chris Thompson misses time. And this is getting later in the year, so the injuries, keep an eye on everything. I like James White a ton this week. James Conner, Kenyon Drake. Just keep an eye on who is out, who is in. The running back I would pick up is Josh Adams for the Eagles because no one's going to target him because they're on a bye. I would do the same thing at tight end with Jack Doyle for tight end. I think that tight end's going to be a very tough spot this year. The Colts are throwing a ton, and they're throwing the tight end, so Jack Doyle's in the mix again. Pick him up if he's available. Cortland Sutton at wide receiver. DJ Moore, we didn't mention at Carolina. He had a big game last week. He's seeing a lot of targets. He's a viable wide receiver 3 even this week. And Taquan Smith is seeing a lot of targets for the Saints. He's the wide receiver 2 now in the game. And Drew Brees for a wide receiver 2, that's always a possibility every week.
Jeff Pasquino, footballguys.com. Week 9 is here. Make sure you get your bye week guys on your bench. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the games.